teach the whole world music. To sing a simple melody. To sing about all the joys and good times, yeah. You see, that's the way God meant for it to be. And if you don't like it, you don't have to sing. You don't have to sing my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to play. You don't have to play my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to sing. You don't have to sing my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to play my song. I'd love to sing a song for all the children. They are our future. Can you see? Take a little time out for the babies and teach them about love, hope, and prosperity. And if you don't like it, you don't have to sing my song. And if you don't like it, you don't have to play my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to sing my song. And if you don't like it, you don't have to play my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to sing my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to.
Hello, it's a wonderful, wonderful day, and I am so thankful to God for everything that He's done, He's doing, He's going to do in our lives. It's a wonderful, wonderful day, and this is Thursday. It's the 27th of May in the year 2021, and this is Point of View with Shirley, Cleester, and Eula. And the other ladies will not be here today. I am so thankful for them, though. So Tuesday, God willing, they will be here in full force, okay? And I am so thankful to God. Dear God, as I stand or sit before you to speak, I pray to you that my soul you will keep. And if I should die before I finish, I pray to you that any outstanding sins will be forgiven. Amen. I am so thankful, and that is my prayer. And I see I have a shadow in my life, but that's okay. That is okay. I might have to do. No, I'm not going to even do. I just move myself just a little bit. But today, and Clee will continue her topic, uh, talking about the Eve gene when she comes back. But she's doing fine. She had something that she had to prioritize today, okay? So, and Eula is doing fine too, thank God, okay? So, we're going, Clea talked about the Eve gene, and so she's going to do part 2 of it, and God willing, she'll do it on Tuesday. So today, I was thinking, Lord, what should I talk about today? What do you want me to talk about today? And there's so many things as we age, as we mature during this lifetime, there's so many things that are happening, and we have no control, really. We have no control over anything. We have no absolute control, okay? But we do. God has allowed us a part in our lives, in decision making, and how we choose to act, how we choose to react. He has given us that privilege. He has given us that freedom. But as we age and we know the process of life, when we're born, we start dying, okay? That is just a fact. Not to be grim or gruesome or what is it, grim reapery like, but it's a fact. When we're born, we start dying. And so some of us will not all sleep. Some of us will be changed in the moment, in the twinkling of an eye, and we'll be caught up to meet Jesus in the air. We'll all be caught up to meet him for Judgment Day, but some of us will not see the natural death, okay? So when he is ready to come back for Judgment Day, some of us will be changed. They said in the moment, in the twinkling of an eye, just instantaneously, we'll be changed from mortality to immortality. And that's a fact. We have no control over what is going on. We have no control over life. We have no control over death. But what we do in the process while we have the privilege of living is very important to us. So what we do with that, and some people say in between the birth date and the death date, we have some say God has allowed us, he's given us choices, he's told us what we can do, what we can't do. But in the end, then the absolute, he is totally in control. And there is nobody in this world who can truthfully and absolutely, factually prove that God is not in control. Whatever they believe, whatever they say, whatever they do, when it's all said and done, nobody has control over life and death but the God Almighty. And that's a fact. And I started looking at video the other day, and they had, it was a philosophy class, I believe, and I'm going to finish looking at it, okay, because we have to be open-minded in things, and we really need to know what other people are saying, not just what we believe, but what other people are saying about what they believe, not to be persuaded and not to be caught up into um, their beliefs if they don't believe in God, but we need to know what's going on around us. So in this, I think it's a philosophy class, one of the this philosophy professor invited his friend who is an atheist to come and to talk to his class. And so I'm going to finish that. I didn't finish it that day because I had other things that I was doing, but I'm going to go back and finish that. And then I'll share it with you. And then I might not. I think you probably need to look it up yourself because I don't want to be sharing something that might influence someone to uh, go in a different direction. Okay. All right. But we all have the freedom. God has given us the freedom to believe and choose in this life what we want to do. Now, the consequences and all of that, we have to suffer those or we have to reap the rewards depending on what decisions we make. So, getting to my subject, and I'm in Psychology Today right now, Psychology Today. And this is I was thinking about it, and there's so much going on around us. There are so many people who have transitioned from this life. There are people right now who are grieving people, the transitioning into eternity of their loved ones. We've all gone through it, and the older we get, the longer we live, the more we'll experience it, okay? So my thing is when I go to visit someone or I call someone, my thing is mostly to listen because many times I don't know what to say because you don't know really exactly what to say to a person because you cannot read their emotions. Well, God gives us discernment. So that's how we know, many of us who are spiritual, trusting God, we know, we can kind of feel, okay, no, don't say this and don't do this. Okay, now some of us can do that. But really, overall, when you don't know what when you don't know what to say, when you don't know what to say. So what do you do when you don't know what to say? Okay? What do you do when you don't know what to say? This is Psychology Today, and this is was written in August 2015, and that's when it was posted. So when you don't know what to say, there are times in life when we're called upon to be comforting, but words fail us. And some people put their feet in their mouths. Some people put their feet in their mouths. And when I say people, I mean multiple, I'm saying people plural. Many people put their feet in their mouths, not just one foot, both of them, because they really don't have the wisdom or even the knowledge as to know what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. And I remember when Elder Davis transitioned, and I know people mean to help. I really do. I know they mean to help. And I appreciate everyone, even in the transitioning of Mama and Daddy and Lewis and Michael and Danny and all my grandparents and anybody that I am close to and associated with my friends that have recently um, transitioned. I appreciate every effort. I appreciate everything because I realize that people don't know what to say. They really don't know exactly what to say. So they do the next best thing. Whatever comes up sometime, it comes out. Okay? And they really, many times, don't mean any harm. But I remember, and I don't know who this man is today. It's somebody evidently that I knew Elder Davis or that knows Elder Davis. And he called and said, I want to be your prayer partner. And I'm thinking, who is this? And I think I asked him, and so would you tell me your name again, please? And what congregation are you affiliated with? Who is your pastor? Because I didn't know him. And so you have to be really, really wise. So many people, and I'm not saying the man meant any harm, but I just didn't know the man. I didn't know him. And then to call me and tell me I want to be your prayer partner. And so you have to really be careful. You have to really be careful because you can ask so many people how things started that were not according to the will of God. And many of them started by being prayer partners. Okay. Now I'm going to go and leave that. So not knowing what to say, we don't pick up the phone or pay a visit when someone we know has suffered a devastating loss or a loved one is enduring an incapacitating illness. Sometimes people don't know what to say, so they just don't do anything. But my thing is, if the Lord leads me to go there, to where the people are, the who are experiencing the loss or the sickness or whatever, or to call them, I ask Him, God, to give me what to say, and then give me the words to start the conversation. And if I just need to listen, I will listen. I will listen. Many times people just want you to listen. Okay. Now, so we feel guilty about our silence and interaction, yet our awkwardness keeps us muzzled. Sometimes we just don't know what to say, and then sometimes people just say too much of nothing. Okay. Now, traditional cultures almost all have rituals that include specific ways to be in proximity to mourners and that prescribe what to do when visiting the sick. We're losing what we have known, what thousands of years of human experience have hewn into effective and vital practices. We're getting away from many things because it just depends on the generations and how things sometimes are watered down. Some things are are what is it added to, some things are taken away, and it's just the change of the times. Okay, now an endless flow of words goes back and forth on our devices, but what do we give each other in times of aching need? We have social media, and many people would rather go through social media and send a text or whatever. But I try to do that personal contact, a phone call, a visit, or and then I will do a text or a voice message or whatever I'm led to do to let the people know that I am praying with you and for you. I don't just go and barge in on people. I don't do that. And I will, but if I feel that I should go, if I don't stay but 5 or 10 minutes, just to let someone know I'm praying with you and for you, I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about you. Okay. So a friend told, and this is the writer. And did I give the writer's name? I thought I saw that name up here. Let's see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me go back up here because I know this is psychology today, but I always like to give credit. This is Wendy Lust Bader. Wendy Lust Bader, and this is from her Life Gets Better. So when you don't know what to say, okay, now I've given her credit. I ain't no plagiarizer, okay? Now, so she says, a friend told me she felt not even a semblance of comfort scrolling through dozens of Facebook responses to her mother's death. Sorry for your loss, thinking of you. Finally, one person actually called her, saying very little but letting her recount the events of her mother's last days. And some people just want to talk about it, and they do. They just want to talk about it. And I remember when Elder Davis transitioned. And I remember the district, they were so kind and so patient with me. And I remember talking about it, the process and they sat and they listened to me and they prayed for me. Sometimes we just have to talk and we don't realize sometimes what we're doing till we step back. And sometimes it's months later, weeks later, that we realize how much we talked about it. But we just have to get it out, and it's a process. Talking, we can talk it uh, into an. I don't tell people that it's going to get better. I say it's going to get more tolerable. Tolerable. You can tolerate it, okay. But and I'm not telling you that it's not going to get better, but I say tolerable, okay? Whatever word you want to use, that's up to you. So some people just need to talk it out. And then sometimes they need to talk to a certain person and they talk to certain people longer or more than they talk to other people. Okay. So they say thinking of you on Facebook. And then even during the process, even on Facebook, there were so many people when uh Michael and Lewis, and we didn't have the Facebook. Now I didn't when Danny transitioned, but so many people, and I tried to get to everyone individually because some people don't have a telephone number. Some of them know, and they consider that yes, she's going to be overwhelmed with calls and messages and all. And I would just rather send a message, and that's why I appreciated everything. Everything. And I do thank God for this day of technology because if my son had not put me on Facebook, he asked me if he could put me on Facebook, told me he wanted to, and I told him, okay. I am so happy that I consented to him putting me on Facebook because there are people that I grew up with. We grew up together and we have been acquainted down through the years here and there and the other places and all that. And I never would have been able to be in contact or communicate with those people and them with me. And that's why I like the social media. And the thing about it is, if you don't want to see or hear some of the stuff that goes on here, they give us the privilege to block, delete, silence, put them on suspension. We have that privilege. And now I see where Instagram the other day said you can even stop the likes from coming in. If you don't want to see likes, you don't have to. And then if you want to start them up again, you can. So it's convenient for us. And it's a great way of keeping contact because when something negative comes across my page, I have the right to do what I need to do about it to get it off. Okay. And you do too. So I hear so many people say, I don't like Facebook. So much stuff go on Facebook. But we don't have to put up with some of with that negative stuff. We can get it off of our pages. We don't have to associate it with it. When somebody comes on your page and they don't have the attitude that you're happy with, click the delete button, put them on suspension for 30 days, however you want to do it. I ain't no shame in my game, okay? All right, now, so the relief of this conversation is like when she was talking about she wanted to talk about recount the events of her mother's last days. The relief of this conversation lasted for days. It wasn't anything her friends said. It was having the chance to tell the stories, to dwell on the details where her cherished moments had gotten interspersed with her regrets. So there are many situations in life when texting or sending a quick email are not enough, when we need to open up our hearts and be there emotionally. So by phone or in person, we have to be willing to enter into another's travail to feel what is there, not to try to fix it or to say something wise, but just to take it in and to trust in the power of this kind of presence. There are certain people that you want to hear from at certain times. And I believe all of us have those special people in our lives. And then you wonder, why didn't I hear from her? Why didn't I hear from him? And that hurts. Sometimes people, hundreds of people, can be talking and sending their condolences or their congratulations, depending on whatever the case is. Okay, negative or positive. And then there might be certain people that you don't hear from, and you say, I wonder why I didn't hear from them, even though all these other people have been congratulating you or sending their condolences and whatever the situation calls for. But there are certain people you expect to hear from. Okay? There are certain people you expect to hear from. So perhaps silence is only awkward when we don't have confidence in it. The temptation is strong to fill any silences with quick reassurances instead of simply being there in someone's time of need. Okay? So, usually a murmur of sympathy, an echo of pain the person is going through is enough. Wow, you're going through a lot. And one thing that I stopped saying, and I guess maybe I don't even know whether I ever said it or not. I might have. It's a cliche. I'm sorry for your loss. I stopped saying that. And if I ever say it again, it'll be a slip. Okay? Because people, and that is the thing that people say, I'm sorry for your loss. But then my thing is, I know we don't know where a person is, but we can only hope. And from the lives that they live, we can suggest that they're either in eternal life or in eternal damnation. We don't know, but I, I would like to say, you know, I'm praying for you. I'm praying for and with you. I offer condolences, but I don't want to say I'm sorry for your loss because we feel like in many cases that we know where they are. So that doesn't mean that they're lost. And I know what people are saying. It's a loss. It's an earthly loss. They won't be here with us anymore. Okay, I understand that, and some people might say I'm too technical or whatever, but that's the way I am. All right, so I'll get into that in the next subject that I have. Okay, so if we just say, "Wow, you're going through a lot," some people need to just talk it out, talk it out with you. Okay, so be there if you don't get a chance to say anything, but I'm here for you. I'm praying with you. I'm offering condolences. So several years ago, she said, I made weekly visits to a friend, and during the last stages of ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, he had to type what he wanted to say into a machine that would then speak his sentences. Near the end, he was able to type with only one finger, and thus full sentences took quite a while to emerge. So I would gaze out the window into his garden and allow myself to enjoy the beauty of the sunlight on the leaves or to watch the drifting clouds. See, this friend was wise. He just sat there until he typed out and then the sentences came forth out of the machine. Okay? So he said, let me go. Wait a minute. I went back somewhere and I didn't mean to do that. So let me come back. This is going so good. Okay. I don't want to lose it here. Okay. So near the end, he was able to type with only one finger. I said that I know. And thus, full sentences took place and they would emerge from the machine. He'd gaze out the window and enjoy the sunlight. Okay. So he looked on the leaves and the drifting clouds. So he had said, the last day I saw him, he struggled long and hard to depict the gratitude he felt towards me, saying that when he talked to his wife through the machine, she would wash dishes or sweep the floor, as would other visitors. Okay. I was the only one, he said, who just sat there and did nothing but listen to him the way it would be in actual conversation. See, it's the little things that people are grateful for. Just he wouldn't have thought, maybe he didn't think that was much of anything, but his friend cherished it. In his last days, he cherished it. And I want to say I had a friend of mine. He was a pastor here in Dallas, and we got acquainted with each other because Greater Gospel Temple and the church he pastored were on the same street, and then Greater Gospel Temple, of course, was burned down, and so but we still had we got to through a business dealings we got to be friends. So he had told me, because I know, and yes, his wife knew that we were friends. Okay, and she approved of it. We were friends because she was my friend too. If he was my friend, she was my friend. Okay, now I got that out of the way. And so he would he had told me about some things, and he had said how he went to the doctor, and he was saying his shoulder was hurt, and they were doing things with his shoulder. And then as time went on, he called me one day and he said, I want to tell you this before you hear it from someone else. I want to tell you. And he said, I have ALS. And I said, okay. And so we would talk periodically. And so one day the Spirit led me to go by the church. He was still preaching, still going to the worship with the congregation, still leading the congregation. And when I went there that Sunday to see him, personally look on him, he was still able to talk and everything, but he was totally, almost totally incapacitated physically, but he was still preaching. And when I went to talk to him, he talked more to me and encouraging me and everything than I could. And I listened to what he had to say, and he shared some things with me. He certainly did. He shared some things with me. And so when I got up to go, then that was the last time I saw him alive. But I did get to go visit with him. And he was still preaching and talking about God. And then we talked as friends with his deacon present. Yes, we did. And so he had that. And so I mostly listened to him while he told me what he wanted to tell me. So I've had that experience before. And I truly, truly do miss him. But while he was alive and we were friends, we cherished our friendship. So the highly particular aspects of this situation serve to highlight the universal that someone's attention when we are suffering is a balm, BALM, to the spirit. And I think about that song Karen Clark Sheard sings, There is a balm in Gilead. I like that song. There is a balm in Gilead. Yeah, I like that song. Especially during times of illness and its accompanying vulnerability, we long for the kind of focus that assures us we are more than just a body in need of care, more than the multitude of tasks our dependency generates. Listening is a lot more than nothing, and it really is. Listening is a lot more than nothing. This is what I chant to myself when I am feeling helpless before the magnitude of someone's suffering, because all we can do many times is just sit there. And some people are in agonizing pain, or sometimes they're just silent, but we can just sit there. We can just sit there, be there, be there. Okay? I think back on awful interludes, and this is the author talking, okay, of my own, and how reassuring it was to have another person occupy that desolate place along with me, to sit with me and breathe the same air. At least I wasn't totally alone. This counts for a lot, sometimes making the difference between a passing crisis and a trauma embedded in the heart. So when I am at a loss for words, I have learned to keep my mouth shut. And that's with me too. If I don't know what to say, keep my mouth shut. Just be there. Just be there. Just be there. Okay? It has taken me years to honor my speechlessness. And yes, we have to get to that point. We misspeak sometimes and we really don't mean any harm. And then we thank God that many times the people understand that we just didn't know what to say. We just didn't know how to act, how to react. Okay, sometimes just be there. Just be there. Okay, so it has taken years to honor the speechlessness, to accept that the silence that has befallen me usually means something. And it does. That silence means something. It means something. Okay, so if I can't find the right words, this is the author talking, and I feel this too. Me too. Okay, if everything I might say seems trite or widely off the mark, I remind myself that the situation may be beyond words and that this just might be the right time for listening. And people know that I do a lot of listening. I really, really do. I once sat outside a friend's house and pulled weeds at the edge of her walkway. See, just little things, the little things. And why did she do that? She said she was in a deep mourning for her husband and didn't want visitors. But I knew she could look out her window and see that she was loved and supported. It felt good to be out there doing the weeding, dispensing with words all together. Just for her friend to look out the window and see her pulling weeds. There are things we can do. There are things we can do. So when you don't know what to do, what do you do? When you don't know what to say, what do you say? What do you say? And I'm going to the next one, and I will be finished today. I will be finished today. And there's a survey that I would like for you to go to in Life Hack. And the survey is in let me see, to it's assessment generator, assessmentgenerator.com. So you can always come back and look for that. So let me go here. I'm going to Life Hack. And this is Life Hacks. It's hashtag Life Hacks. And I usually go lifehack.org. So this might be a different site, but this is lifehacks.io. Lifehacks.io. And these are life tips. And this was written by Akshay, Akshay. What do you do when you don't know what to do? And I have a song, where are we now? How do you know what to do when you don't know what needs to be done? How do you know which way to go when you don't know where you're coming from? How do you know what to say when you don't know what's been said before? They say we've got a long way to go, but can you tell me, where are we now? That's just one verse of that song. How do you know? So what do you do when you don't know what to do? And this is talking about life in general. And I think this is very, very good for us because during the process of our lives, we are sometimes we get overwhelmed with the everyday process of life, taking care of ourselves, taking care of our family, doing our jobs, working outside the home. Some work inside the home, but that doesn't make it any less stressful if you work inside the home, taking care of the children. And one thing about our culture, and I will say that, is that we feel like we need to be there all the time, be present all the time, and we really don't think a lot. Now, I know in the earlier years, we didn't think a lot about, okay, give mommy is going to go on a trip. I'm going to send mommy on a trip for the weekend where she can go somewhere. She can relax, or I'm going to send daddy on a trip where he can go somewhere and relax and just enjoy 2 or 3 days of solitude and just to do what he or she wants to do, whichever the case is, because we need breaks. Mommy stays at home, takes care of the children, or daddy stays at home, takes care of the children, because now we have stay-at-home dads also, and I believe we probably had them all, all the time anyway, but they always give them a name. So we have stay-at-home dads. So the thing is, if they need a break, give them a break. Give them a break. Sometimes we don't think about it. We don't think about it until it's too late. We're so stressed out. We're so overwhelmed. We have high blood pressure. We have sugar, we call it sugar diabetes. We have diabetes. We have just so many different things that come upon us because of stress. We don't get enough rest, and we don't get assistance like we should, because sometimes we think, okay, this is what you're supposed to do. Yes, it's what we're supposed to do, but listen to me. Give her a break. Give her a luxurious weekend. If it's not but to go downtown somewhere into a hotel and be able to just enjoy that weekend by herself, or him by himself, just to have a break. You will never know until you do it what a relief it will be. I remember one time I told Elder Davis we needed a break. And so we didn't go out of town, but we went down to, was it the, what is it, Anatole or Hyatt Regency? One of those hotels out on 35. And we stayed there for the weekend, and we really, really enjoyed it. That's one time we stayed in town, but it was just like we were out of town. And we just, those 2 nights and days really did us some good, just to go and just relax. Because when you go to a hotel, you could be right in the heart of Dallas, or right in the heart of wherever you live, and in a nice hotel and all of that, and it'll feel like you're out somewhere else, in another town, on another island, or whatever, if you play it right. Okay, so sometimes you happen to be stuck, blocked, and confused. Not that you don't know how to make decisions or how to do things, nor is it about fear, but you do not know what to do. And it's a fact. It's a fact. If we think about it, just think about it. Just think about it. And sometimes we regret that we didn't do it. We'd like to have a do-over, and sometimes it's not possible, okay? You may have already met the goals and objectives that you have proposed, or you've accommodated in a situation, and you realize you're no longer motivated. You don't know which way to go next. It may also be that you have to make a major career decision to mark your path, but you're blocked. These things come up like this. And sometimes we don't know what's happening, but that's what's happening. We're blocked. We don't know what to do next. I've done this, I've done that, but there's still something. Okay? So this situation is widespread and frustrating, because there's nothing worse than uncertainty. And generally, it's because you're not sure what you want. Sometimes, even at our seasoned ages, sometimes we are not sure what we want, even after we've lived 40, 50, 60, sometimes 70 and 80 years. We're still looking for something, trying to find something, okay? Even though we don't know what we're trying to find, we're still trying to find it, okay? Now, so however, deep down, you do probably know it. You just need to dig a bit to bring it to light. You see there? Hey, how can you do so? Get away from where you are. You see where I'm going? Get away from where you are. Many times your situation, stress, and family pressures are too high to let you think clearly. No matter how much you try, you're unable to do so. In such situations, it's hard to know what you really want, so it's important to take time out for yourself. Escape from your usual environment. This is when you need it the most, not just 10 minutes, but the whole time. You need to think clearly. Not just 10 minutes, take the time that you need to think clearly. Go on a holiday for a couple of days. If you cannot do so, just take a weekend only for yourself, completely isolated, and think about your situation in solitude. And people tell me, they say, you're you're always going somewhere. You're always going somewhere. I see you. You're on the road again. I love it. I love it. And I thank God for the opportunity because I will get away. And I like to drive. I like to drive, and when I'm driving, I'm listening to the music and I'm praying and I'm thinking. There's so many things I'm doing at the same time, and I'm relaxed. I'm relaxed. I like to drive, and then when I get to my destination, I try to make the best of it. I try to make the best of it. If I'm going on a pleasure trip, or if I'm going on a necessary trip that is not a pleasure trip, but whatever it is, I try to make do for that situation, okay? But talking about getting away now for a trip to regroup, revamp, get some fresh air, think fresh, just some time to myself, to yourself. We need to do these things. There's nothing wrong with that. Why do you think part of God's making this big world? Why do you think that's the reasoning? I believe He made it so we could travel the world, so we could go different places. We don't have to stay in the same place. And if you're not able financially to go where you want to go, there's always a substitute. And I know, and I don't have all the money I want to have. I don't. I have to save. I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to be prepared so that I won't get somewhere and get stranded and don't have the money to get back or whatever, or something happens, be able to do whatever, or have contact where they can send for me or whatever needs to be done. So we need to be wise and make arrangements and things like that and let people know where we are. Don't just run off and nobody knows where you are, okay? All right. Now I had to put that in there too. So get completely isolated so you can think. Sometimes you have to drop whatever you're doing, whatever you're thinking about, and just try to get some fresh thoughts, okay? So go for a walk. See? If you don't have the money or the transportation, whatever, the means to go way away or whatever, go out of town or whatever, go for a walk. Take a relaxing bath and listen to the music. You need to let your thoughts flow without the daily pressure. I remember when Elder Davis transitioned, and I had, uh, well, he went before his brother, Jeff. And so after Elder Davis transitioned, then I got a call from the state, a state representative, asking me if I would be responsible for his brother. Okay, I put that out there. Yes, they did. They called me and asked me. And so I did do it, but I had to do it in a way that wouldn't pressure me. Okay, now, so after Jeff, oh, anyway, that was his brother's name. He, the Lord let him transition, and then the responsibility, I had been just constantly going and going with Elder Davis and with him. And so when I didn't have them. And so one day I was getting ready to go, because when you're caring for people, you have to time things out. You have to time your bath. You have to time your shower. You're just on a timetable. And this can go on for years and years and years, and there is not one complaining thought in my mind. I am so thankful to God because He allowed me to do that. I am so thankful because He allowed me to do that. Now, I was getting ready, and my cousin has a banquet every year. My cousin Myrtle, Mount Olive in Denison. And so I was getting ready to go to it. So I was in the tub. And so then it just came to me. You don't have to rush. I mean, just like that. You don't have to rush. I stayed in that tub so long, and when the water would cool off, I'd put some more hot water in it. I was so wrinkly when I got out of that tub, but I guarantee I was super clean and I was super relaxed, and then I went on up to the banquet. But it just dawned on me, and so those who have been stressed, who have duties, who are taking care of people, we have to steal away sometime for ourselves. And then there's times when we have to constantly, and I know because I've been there. But when you get a chance, take a little break for yourself, even if you have to have someone that you trust, that you dearly trust, and that is trustworthy to come over and just sit in the house with you, wherever you're taking care of your loved one. Come and sit for an hour, 2 hours, and just let me go and sit in the tub. Let me go for a walk. Let me go and read. Let me do this. Just give me an hour, 2 hours for myself. Do you know that will do a world of good for you? Okay? It will do a world of good for you. So reconsider your values. Many times, the reasons for stagnation is that you're not aware of your values and needs, or that they have changed, and what previously fulfilled you does not seem to do so now because we change. Our values change, our interests change as we get older, as we mature, whichever, and it could be both, okay? So when your life misaligned from your values, you feel unhappy. The same happens when your needs aren't met. Being aware of your needs makes it easier for you to make decisions. People also seem to be unhappy if they lack goals in life. Now, define success. Make sure you live your life on your terms. Don't I tell you this? I tell you this over and over. Live your life on your terms, not according to the rules of society. You have to do what makes you happy, gives you consolation that is not detrimental to you or anyone else, okay? But that helps you, okay? Now, it is easy to believe in the idea of success that your friends, family, and the media show you, but if it is not what you want, you will feel unhappy. And there are so many people who are unhappy and don't really know why they're unhappy. So take a look, dig, and find out, okay, why am I feeling like this? Why am I not satisfied? What's going on here? Pray about it. Ask God, concentrate, consecrate, and it'll come to you. Oh, this is what it is. Okay, so how do I deal with this? And how do I rectify the situation to be in my favor? Okay? So it is important to define what success means to you in all areas of your life. Most people usually associate success with professional accomplishments. But do you believe in the same? Because success doesn't mean that you have to be professionally successful in a business or whatever. Be successful in living your life. In living your life. You must, you must live a life that makes you happy. And despite everything that's happening within your life and around you, make adjustments so that you can be happy in the process. In the process. Okay? Now, for some people, traveling the whole world is a success. For others, being a good mom, dad is. It's just a matter of perception. It's just a matter of perception. Find what really matters to you. This is good, isn't it? Find what really matters to you. And hi, everybody. Hi. Okay, it is important to know how to prioritize, how to choose what is important in your life and devote your time and efforts to it. It is fine if you want to enjoy your life fully and have many goals, dreams, and objectives, but it doesn't mean that you have to do everything in this year and end up stressed for lack of time. Space it out. You don't have to do it all right now. Space it out. But do something that makes you happy and not make everybody around you miserable. So we don't do our happiness at all costs. Okay, so there's a process in this. Okay, but you must be happy. Now there's some people who are not going to be happy because you choose to be happy. So too bad. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Those of you know who I'm quoting right there. Ain't nobody, let's see, mad. Everybody's glad. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. I know, Yolanda. If you're watching, you know exactly who says that, don't you? Okay, so examine the target list and decide which goals you can achieve this year and which ones can wait a little longer. So there are certain things worth postponing. For example, if there are numerous places you would like to travel, try to fly to some locations now while you were young, while you are still young, and full of energy, and leave the others for later. You can do whatever you want, but be realistic. This is the thing. Be realistic according to the time and the energy you have. So, when you are clear about your values, your needs, your priorities, and definition of success, things look differently. And they do. They look differently. They look differently. It costs less to make decisions, it costs less to find what you want because you know best, which is paramount to live life according to your rules and to feel satisfied with your actions and decisions. And I know things happen in life, like I said in the beginning, we have no absolute control over anything. But God gives us the opportunity. He wants us to prosper, be in health as our souls prosper. That's one of the scriptures. He said, if our ways please him, he'll give us the desires of our hearts. And he doesn't want any of us to be unhappy. He wants us to be happy. Happy. He wants us to enjoy this life that he has given us for the time that we have. Okay? So look at your priorities. Think about what you might want if something is lacking in your life. Some people might not think they have anything lacking, but still think about it. Think about it. Because there are things, take a break. Take a break. Tell your husband if he doesn't think about it, just tell him. And women, oh yes, we must be wise, look into our households, chaste housekeepers, taking care of our husbands and our families, and you will be his pride and joy. You can now some people are just mean and hateful. We know we run across those too, okay? But let me tell you, we know how to do what we need to do when we need to do it, okay? So you do what you need to do and let honey know that if he doesn't think about it, make him think that he thought about it first. Okay? Or you, sir, Make honey your wife or your significant other. Make her think, you know, but you know what we like for you to think about it, okay? All right. So whichever way it works best, that's what you do. So, and say, well, honey, I believe you need a trip, or I believe you need some time off, and I'm just going to take care of the children. And if there are no children involved, I'm just going to just stay here at home. I want you to go and you just have a great time. I'm going to give you a couple of days. Sometimes they give them weeks. It just depends, honey. But whatever they give you, make the best of it, okay? And then when you get to where they are sending you, try not to worry about what's going on back at the house. I don't care if you're downtown. Don't get in the car and drive on back to the house. Well, honey, I just came in to check, see what's going on. Enjoy it, okay? Enjoy it. And ladies, we know how to deal with those men we love, don't we? Oh, yes, we do. Be wise, wise, and harmless at the same time. Okay? Wise and harmless at the same time. And I guarantee you'll have his heart in the cup of your hand. See, I got a cup, got my hands cupped. You have his heart. Okay, I love you. It's such a oh look, I did a whole hour and a minute. I thought I was going to run short. I mean, no. Well, yeah, I was going to have to quit early, but I didn't. I love you so much, and I'm going to read your comments. I thank you so much. Okay, thank you for being here with me. I love each and every one of you. You enjoy your day or whatever time you're watching this webcast. This is Point of View with Shirley, Cleester, and Eula right here on the World Wide Web. And if you're ever over on Twitch, it's twitch.com, twitch.com. And you can go to SPOLK, SPOLK TV, and you can see this webcast. Any of our webcasts are still online. You can see them. And then you can see us on YouTube also and right on Facebook. We are on 3 platforms simultaneously, and I thank God for that. I love you. Enjoy your day. It's a wonderful, wonderful day. I'd love to teach the whole world music, to sing a simple melody about all the joys and the good times, because that's the way God meant for it to be. And then to the enemy that doesn't like it because we want to be happy, we want to think of the good times. If you don't like it, the enemy doesn't have to sing our song. If the enemy doesn't like it, the enemy doesn't have to play our song. But this song is for us. We want to spread love, peace, and joy. And this song is written by my dear, dear, dear friend, Mr. Robert Lee DeHorney. And he transitioned on January 15th in 2018. And I do miss him dearly. But he gave this song to me, and I cherish it dearly. And he did get to hear it before he left. He did get to hear it, and he was pleased with it. And I'm so thankful. I love you so much. I love you so much. Talk with you later.